Alrighty guys, welcome back to Ether Bandit's Garage. Today, we're going to be putting this 6.5 back together again. So as you can tell, this is about day 2 or 3 of Operation 6.5, and my clean shop is no longer clean. But, got it all torn apart. Yesterday, I pressure washed this whole engine block out, and I have it sparkling. And I just cleaned the crank. Because like once you pressure wash it, you thoroughly coat it, and like I did WD-40. And then just now, I took compressed air and brake parts cleaner, and we put brake parts cleaner in all these oil ports, and we blew it out. Cleaned all the junk out of it. I did that 2 or 3 times. It's very clean, probably cleaner than it's been in a long time. And I cleaned the valve covers. This pressure washer will take it. It took some paint off, but I have the proper color this engine needs to be painted on order. And I think we're about to the point of I'm going to start cleaning these main bearings. And we're going to put these back in there. Because I don't really see a big issue with them. I don't see a big issue with the rod bearings either. And so we're going to keep sending them. See what happens. Alrighty guys, as y'all just saw, just put the crank back in. I used some of this stuff, but it's pretty good stuff. I like it. It's gray. Got it all cleaned up. I mean, you can tell it could use it like a polish. Wouldn't hurt nothing, but it'll run. And if it don't run, I have another 6.5, so I just want to take this one apart, give it a clean bill of health, and so we're going to put it back together. Well, as well as the clean bill of health, I mean, I had to take it apart, because I have these main studs to put in it, which are going to screw in like so. And so I wanted to put those in it, so I figured I'd take everything apart just to have a good look-see at everything. But that is what we going to do, which I'm going to put oil on these before I put them back. Yeah, I mean, I got all the main caps cleaned up. I know they don't look the prettiest, but the thing is it's all smooth wear. And I think with what it is that's actually like a coating that's just coming off. They're factory GM bearings. I really don't have a problem running them. I really think it's going to be okay. It was running before, very obviously. And if it doesn't run, well then, we'll get a new crank. But I'm sure it will. Alrighty, well, get back to you whenever we're installing all of these and the main caps. Okay, so we have our main caps cleaned, put a little bit of assembly lube in them, and then you're going to put them in one to the front of the engine with the arrow facing forwards, and it's not seated right now. Really not worried about that quite yet. We got to put all of these in there. See, you have the arrow, and then it says 2 right there as well. But this one's easy. It's 3 because it has the thrust bearing in it, which you got to remember the arrow. because this one has a big arrow in it, and a little arrow and a number 3. And then putting this one in there too, and it has an arrow and a 4. This is an easy one, and it's easy to tell which way it goes because this is your number 5, because it has a sealing surface and it's the back one, and the bearing is biggest. And now it's time to get our main studs, put our main studs in, and start tapping these down a little bit gently. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, so for those of you that are going to put main studs in your engine, if you lose the instructions, here they are. Sorry it's windy. Basically what it says is, so I don't have a 506, I have a 599 block. We're going to torque the inner ones to 90 and the outer ones to 80. And then you start with 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. And then you start with the third one, but you tighten it to 10 foot-pounds and tap it down, check your clearance. And then tighten it to 20 and tighten all the rest to 20. And then increase torque in 10-foot increments until you reach 90 and 80. It doesn't really say how you're supposed to tighten these, how tight the studs are supposed to be inside of the so we're just gonna go get them barely tight. Okay. And we're just going to keep doing this on all of them. I did make sure all the holes were clean. All the bolts have just a dab of oil on them. That way they all thread in real nice. And then we will be putting the ARP lube on the studs. And well, first we gotta seat them. I'll see if I can't set up some time-lapse footage of that. But I just figured, just wanted to show you how you build a high-performance 6.5, which isn't all that high performance, but better than a factory one, I guess. I don't know. So, alrighty. I guess we will be setting some more stuff up and get back to you in a sec. Okay, so next step, seating all of these gently. For the most part. Still turns real nice and smooth. Okay. So now the instructions say you want to put a little bit of lube around the washer and everything to get a proper consistent torque setting, and so that's what we're going to do. And I am getting some on the threads. I mean, basically this stuff's just going everywhere, kind of like Never Sneeze. Both sides of the bearing. So now, we thread all our nuts on, which these are 12 points, so I'm gonna have to go find a 12-point socket, because I typically like to keep 6-point, but I know I got some 12 points laying around somewhere. Okay, so I don't own any 12-point half-inch drive sockets, but I do have some 12-point 3/8. So that's just gonna have to do. And that'll just be okay. I'm just running these down right now, and we're gonna get my torque wrench out and see what happens. So we're not gonna be able to use the half-inch one until 50, my half-inch torque wrench until 50 foot-pounds. So it's a good thing I have this little 3/8 to get us by. Now it says you take your hammer and you tap gently. Make sure it's seated. Make sure the crank still turns. We're going to check it one more time, which I think I have this cap pretty well seated. Okay, so we got her all nice and torqued down. 90 on these, 80 on these. Crank turns very smooth as butter. And I guess we're ready. We can start putting rods in it. If I could put the cam in, either or, probably put rods in it. Just cause, I don't know. Gotta clean all the rod, gotta clean all the pistons. I've cleaned these two mains, or these two bearing caps and bearings. Need to clean all the rest of them. And all the pistons, which they're kind of grimy, just a little bit. So, alrighty. I'm gonna start working on cleaning this. We'll get back to y'all whenever we start putting the pistons in.